And the reason being is it's sort of my coping mechanism. I try to make light of terrible situations, and luckily through humor, so that I'm not sad every fucking day. Because what's the first thing you do when you wake up every morning? You check your phone, right? Probably get on Twitter, or some sort of news. Yeah, you get caught up. Doesn't it feel like there's something negative immediately? There's so much negativity in front of our faces daily that I can't imagine living any kind of life where I don't have an outlet for that negativity. It just festers inside of me and makes me a miserable human being. If I have an outlet through humor, I'm going to use it. You be miserable, not me. Now, I respect that that's not for everybody. That's not how everybody's brain works. Like, I had a woman furious one time. She stood up in the middle of a show one time when I was doing some other school shooting material. And she was furious. She stood up and was like, "You shouldn't do jokes about school shootings." And I was like, "Why?" She was like, "Because what if it happened to you? What if you lost your kid in a school shooting incident? Could you make jokes about it then?" And I was like, oh, this bitch. It's like context, you know what I mean? It's a comedy show. Clearly, everything I'm saying is hypothetical. Like, I'm not talking about this in a literal sense, especially because I don't have any fucking kids, okay? I had to take a step back as a man and as a comedian and actually ask myself, like, if I lost my kid in a school shooting incident, could I ever make jokes about it? And the answer is yeah. It's a hard yes for me, okay? That is for sure how I would heal through that traumatic experience. Are you kidding me? Second of all, it's my kid. That's fucking fair game, okay? There is no way I'm not killing it at that funeral. Like, he was never good at hide and seek. Like, come on, man. That shit is too easy, bro. The kids don't play the games anymore. It's easier targets. We talk so much game of what we can't wait to do to y'all when we see it. We ain't doing none of that ever at all. We just writing fairy tales. The shit we are never gonna do to y'all ever. We set the bar too high. We say crazy stuff like, girl, when I see you, I'm gonna put you up against the wall. I'm gonna fuck you in the curtains. Like, you ain't fucking nobody in the curtains. You've been to my house. I got blinds. You want me to scratch my back up? Not very practical. I lied recently. That's how the game goes. I was sexting with this girl and like, I could see where she was going with it, but it was just rude of her to assume. There's no sympathy for pretty people. You guys are lucky. Count your blessings, uggos. Shit ain't sweet up here either, okay? Everybody's dealing with shit. I just want you to remember that. Remember that. Next time you're in bed, having the worst day, crying your eyes out, and your friends are by your bedside or blowing up your phone, like, "Oh my God, are you okay? Is there anything we can do to make you feel better? What's wrong?" Just remember, it means you're ugly. I don't make up the rules, okay? I'm sorry. If you were cute, they'd be like, "Get up, bitch, we're going to the club." Just white people trying to out-woke each other in front of black people. Because it'll always start reasonable and then just gradually get out of hand. Like, white person number one will start low. Like, "Well, you know, I voted for Obama 2 times in a row." You're like, all right, solid politics, okay. Now, white person number 2 has to top Obama, so he's like, "That's crazy. I was just talking about how Jesus was black." And you're like, "Yeah, well, walked on water, probably couldn't swim." Check out. Now, white person number 3 is gonna top Obama and Black Jesus. He's panicking. He says some ignorant shit like, "Well, Medea's my favorite franchise." You're like, "Gotcha, liar." Medea is nobody's favorite franchise. Not even black people's. Okay, you're a reacher. I think I go Soul Plane, then Medea movies. Well, I have perspective. I'm actually from Ohio. Yeah, that's right. That felt as welcoming as it should have. Man, if you've never been to Ohio, you don't got them. You absolutely don't. I don't care who died there. Send an email, okay? You do not have to go. It's so trash. Oh my God. I'm not even from like a fun part of Ohio. I didn't get like Cleveland or Cincinnati, nothing fun. I'm from the middle of nowhere, like hour west of Columbus, surrounded by cornfields, country, the sticks, we call it. Population like 1,500 people. Like the kind of small town where like the gas station's also the grocery store. You know what I mean? Fuck around, get some sandwiches and some diesel. You here? Why not save a trip? My hometown was so country, man. We used to have drive your tractor to school day. Hashtag bring back hide and seek. I like this topic only because it creates such a divide racially between black people and white people when it comes to the topic of school shootings, because it's usually us. And black people love to joke all the time. They love to be like, oh, you know, it's all the white kids shooting up all the schools. You know, shooting up the schools, a white kid's sport. I hear that joke all the time. Shooting up the schools, a white kid's sport. It's funny. It's a good joke. Until you think about the history of sports. BOAT, bring out ass and titties. It's always been an acronym. My girl not getting on no boats, no kayaks, no canoes, no paddle boats. You're not working up a sweat next to another man. Not dealing with it. That's why women love Titanic so much. 3 milli rocks. Be right back to it. No problem, but rules are rules. It's weird because it's giving me the perspective of not judging people based on how they look. I'm a big fan of that. That's why I like the masks. Love it. You don't know who's ugly with a mask on, do you? It's kind of a fun game to play, isn't it? Just walking them through the grocery store like, does this bitch have a beak? Like, you don't know what people's situations are. You got to get to know them before you can judge. Like, you wouldn't be able to just assume I'm a douchebag if I have my mask on. You'd have no basis. I could walk into any Starbucks with my mask on. They would just think I'm any random lesbian. You know what I mean? I could be anybody. Could be anybody. Go in, like, what's your name? Rightfully so. It's just uncomfortable because to be a straight white male in 2021, you're kind of guilty by association, aren't you? Which is a shitty place to be if you didn't do anything. Like, I just turned 25. I just got here. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't do anything. I'm a new white. Like, give me a chance. Give me a chance to white my wrongs. You know what I mean? Like, just want to sing along to some songs. You know what I mean? Thank y'all so much for coming. Oh, you guys ready to be offended? No, don't fucking say that and then go on Twitter afterwards like, oh, Matt has some opinions of his own and end my fucking career, okay? Just want to have a good time tonight, all right? Comedy almost isn't fun, okay? Having to adhere to everybody's sensitivities. Since when? That shit is so new. Remember like 3 years ago when no one gave a fuck about how you felt? You can joke about messed up stuff as long as it's funnier than it is messed up. And rappers don't get that kind of leeway. Like, if they admit to a crime they did on beat, they still go to jail. I think if you can make a doper song than the charges you're trying to beat, you get to go home. All spectrums of crime, too. Can you imagine Ted Bundy in court? And they're like, you're going to jail forever. And he's like, well, wait till you hear this shit. It's a little song I call I Eat the Pussy Up, starring J. Doms. Because he's a cannibal. So I did a lot of self-reflecting on it, and the conclusion I came to is that nobody goes through more shit and still enjoys life to the fullest more than black people. Nobody. It's so impressive to me. And it's such a beautiful way to live your life because everybody's going to go through shit, but not everybody can bounce back and still enjoy shit to the fullest. And I think it's an absolutely incredible way to live. This is going to seem so dramatic, but I need you guys to take it into consideration. It's such a drastic lifestyle change, too, because people treat you so different. Like, nobody likes attractive people, right? You assume their lives are easier. Like, there's no sympathy for pretty people at all. Which is another thing you guys might not know about me is I have clinical depression and an anxiety disorder. And you guys are just waiting for the punchline. That's how fucked up it is that I can come up here and vent to y'all basically being like, help! It's because this is the only job in the world that I would have to reiterate to y'all what I'm doing, that I'm just kidding. I don't mean this shit that comes out of my mouth. Rappers don't have to do that. Rappers are literally like, I fucked your bitch and killed your family. And y'all are just like, ah! They don't gotta be like, I'm just rapping, y'all. I wouldn't do nothing like that. I'm David, you know me. I wouldn't do nothing like that. So hypocritical, man. And again, this is a very tough position to be put in because white people have ruined every excuse in the book to get out of being called racist. If you or anybody watching were to take the slightest glimpse into my life, you wouldn't have to look far at all. You would see that all of my friends are black. All of them. That's one. There's others, I swear. I have one white friend, and he's Russian. His name is Vladislav. And I don't know how much y'all know about Russians, but they're the black people of white people, okay? So, to my naivety, I'm trying to state my case to these strangers online who don't know who I am or know anything about me, because from my perspective, I'm like, no, like, what are you talking about? I'm not racist. People act like I don't have any problems at all. I could be crying my eyes out in bed, and people are just like, what could you possibly be so upset about, huh? I bet you're just swimming in pussy. And it's like, yeah, but you know what I'm not swimming in? Self-confidence, security, believe it or not. Someone who listens to me. I can't even hang myself because my jawline will cut the fucking rope. And I'm just on the ground, handsome. Even if I did die, it's gotta be an open casket. People are like, God damn, he looks good in a suit. That's really nice. Blue is his color. That is nice. There's no sympathy for pretty people. You guys are lucky. There's always so many leftover pieces after an IKEA project, isn't there? You look at a final IKEA piece like, I guess that's it. And you find out you messed up on step 8 of 49, you're like, I guess we just don't have a bottom shelf. It is what it is. We'll put tall stuff there. Guys, relax. I feel like we've gotten so sensitive as a society, man. We've gotten so soft. Like fresh out the pool dick soft. That all the fellas understand that. You get out that cold water, you don't even recognize yourself anymore. You're like, whose dick is this? Who put a baby dick on me? That's how I feel like we are as a society, man. Just on soft. It's exhausting. But it's the type of small town where, like, life just kind of dissipates. You know what I mean? Like, everyone lives the exact same life timeline. Like, you go to high school, you get pregnant, then you graduate, maybe, and then you get a job, get married, and so on and so forth. Then you die in this hometown. It's depressing. And stop digging up people's old tweets and shit. Straight up. I think it's the most bitch-made thing you could possibly do. Because I'm a big believer that as times change, people change. A lot of the time for the better. Not always, obviously there's exceptions, but a lot of the times. Like, there's so many examples of it in American history in and of itself. You could look at someone like Malcolm X. Malcolm X spent 10 years in prison for robbery and larceny. Got out, went on to become a civil rights activist that literally changed the fucking world. Maya Angelou used to be a prostitute. Went on a big... What the fuck is so funny about that? Because if there's one thing we all have in common, every single person in this room, is everybody's going through something. Right? Everybody in here is dealing with some shit that nobody else has any idea about. I go through shit all the time. You guys would have no clue. Like, one thing you might not know is I have terrible luck. Bad random shit happens to me all the time. And I'll tell you an incredibly embarrassing and humbling story. Need a moment. Just thirsty. Can't be worse than the Wayfair shit. It is. This is way worse. If that one wasn't your shit, buckle up. This is a lot harder one to tackle. Gun control is so tricky because I see both sides. I do understand. I understand the amendment, everyone's right to have a gun. That makes sense to me, especially when it comes to things like protection or providing for your family. That makes sense. And when I was 15 years old, as I mentioned, I was born and raised in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, Ohio. Like, I didn't know shit about shit. I couldn't have been more ignorant. And anybody who says they didn't do or say some shit when they were 15 years old that they shouldn't have done or don't regret is a liar. Okay, that's the time in your life you're supposed to make mistakes so you learn from them, you grow from them. You don't go on to make those same mistakes when you're a responsible adult, yeah? So when I was 15 years old, I was going back and forth on Twitter with my best friend, Brendan. Because if I know anything about the history of sports, it's that if white people are good at it now, black people are going to be way better at it someday. Somebody got to be Wilt. Somebody got to come in and change the game. Some of you aren't laughing because it's fucked up, and some of you are because you're like, he's right. They're going to be faster. They're going to be stronger. And canceled. Awesome. Oh, cancel culture. We gotta chill out. With the cancel culture stuff, we gotta chill out. The spectrum's too broad. I don't have time to care about everything because you make such a big deal about nothing that it takes all of my attention away from the stuff we actually should be canceling and actually should be upset about. And it's so frustrating. Like, just pick and choose, man. And stop digging up people's old tweets and shit. Straight up. And Brendan says some shit like, "You're the only person I know who can eat food without opening their mouth." I was like, God damn, that's a finisher right there. So the roast battle was clearly over, so I conceded, and I had responded back with a very famous Chief Keef lyric at the time from the song Don't Like. So the conversation went, "You're the only person I know who can eat food without opening their mouth." And I responded, "Fuck, that's that shit I don't like." Now, if you're familiar with the song, you would know I had tweeted the N-word in the song lyrics to my friend. And this was incredibly wrong. This was ignorant, naive, and stupid. I wish I had never done it. And when this resurfaced, people lost their fucking mind.